everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Cocktail Hour. I'm your host, Tahith LaRocco, a.k.a. Don Perignon, a.k.a. The Doctor, a.k.a. Logan, a.k.a. Fish, a.k.a. a whole bunch of other names that I've had over the years. With me is my guest co-host for the day, Mr. J. How's it going, Jay?
A.k.a. the voice in his head.
You got your drink? This is a Cocktail Hour.
But of course.
Alright, so here's the deal, people. Unlike my normal show, on this show we will be talking about a relatively recent movie. Not necessarily in the same month, but pretty much within the same year or two. Unlike my other stuff on Cinemastrophe, you can find that at Cinemastrophe on YouTube. Just type in Cinemastrophe and Don Perignon, it'll pop up, where I review mostly old movies, obscure stuff, video games, and whatever the hell I feel like going through at the time. Before we get into that, I know in the last episode, well, not the last episode, on the pilot, I said I wouldn't be at the farm, but that was recorded, I don't know, 3 weeks ago? Something like that. 2 weeks ago. That was recorded 2 weeks ago. So by the time this is recorded, I will be at the Queens County Farm Museum, which is located on 7350 Little Neck Parkway, Floral Park, New York. So if you're in the tri-state area, stop on by. We have the corn maze going on. We have the moonlight maze, which takes place in the evening, which is the same as the corn maze. We have the Fall Escape. I have no idea what that is, but I'll find out when I go back. We also have the Pumpkin Patch open. I think that's all we have. And my good friend Ruben at East Coast Street Tacos. He'll be there. Tell him Ty sent you and he'll hook you up. Those are some good ass tacos. All right. So today's subject is
Math.
and English. No. Today we're going to be talking about Mulan. I'm sure you all know because it's in the description. Now, I know you didn't see the new Mulan, but you do remember how the old Mulan, right?
Yeah, I remember the old one.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the new one, problems I have, things I liked, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, if you agree or not. So,
well, technically those are opinions, and opinions aren't right or wrong. And,
yeah, opinions.
I'll play along.
Some opinions can be right or wrong. Some people can have the opinion that it's okay to kill someone because of their race. That's wrong, my friend.
That's an actual judgment call, a little different, but sure, carry on.
All right, so Mulan, this new one, supposed to be live action, supposed to be more serious, and well, let's just get right into it. Opening scene. I wrote down here. Opening scene. I already had a problem. 1 minute and 14 in. We see Mulan. First of all, they start with a narration, by the way. Everyone knows I hate fucking narrations. But, I was letting it slide. Whatever. You kind of wanted to be serious. I'm not sure. No. But do you remember if they had a narration in the original Mulan movie?
Not that I recall.
I didn't remember that either.
Granted, it's been a while, but no.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either.
But instead, would you like a Star Wars style title crawl to put you up on all the things since?
I would like the movie to just start. Just start the movie. Because it wasn't like they were sitting there telling something that you couldn't show. It wasn't like, oh, we're talking about the past that you can't see. He was just talking. He was just talking. So, and it wasn't interesting at all. I just kind of just blanked out. Which reminds me, I need to get this. Because I don't remember these actors' names. Let me pull up this real quick, IMDb.
Oh.
Mulan. Because I know, some of the actors I know. Like, what the hell was her name?
The one you don't know.
Agent May. Agent May was in there. She had a brief cameo. I can't remember her actress name, but I know her as Agent May. She was in Joy Luck Club. So yeah, she was in it. She had literally, I would say 15 seconds of screen time. 15 seconds. maybe
The
20,
cameo.
but definitely no more than 20. Yeah, it was just a cameo. And what made it bad was her face is painted, so you don't recognize the structure of her face, you ain't gonna know who that is. All right. Okay, so I got the names lifted up. Oh God. Okay. Whew. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the cast, and I didn't recognize any of these people, and I know these people. Did you know Jet Li was in this movie?
What? You owe me money.
He played the Emperor. Did you know Jason Scott Lee was in this movie?
Nope.
He was the main villain. It's all right. I give them that. That was good. That was good makeup job because I didn't recognize either one of them. The woman who plays Mulan, I do not know her name. I cannot pronounce this name, so I'm just gonna refer to
Call
her
her
as
Mulan?
Mulan. Yep, I'm just gonna refer to her as Mulan.
As you should just revert to the whole cast as their cast names for the ease of the whole audience. But as you were.
Well, no, I like to let the audience know exactly who the people are. I can't remember, and I was actually looking for the father, because I recognize him, but I don't know his name. I don't know his name, but I recognize him, and I don't remember what the father's name was in the movie. But anyway, he was the one who was doing the narration. It was the father doing the narration. I wish I could remember his name. He's a very famous actor. You would know him if you see him. So he's doing the narration, and I just kind of zoned out because he was just talking. Like, it wasn't interesting. It wasn't informative. It was just talking to be talking. But a minute and 14 seconds in, you see Mulan as a child practicing martial arts. No, I'm sorry, not practicing martial arts, practicing sword fighting. Let me be correct. She's practicing sword fighting. And I immediately sat there, I saw that, and the first thing I thought was like, they ruined one of the major moral of the entire Mulan story. Because Mulan was ahead of its time. The whole premise that guided Mulan's story along was role breaking.
Uh-huh.
You know, she's in a time where women have a certain role that they're expected to be in, and that's that, and the men have a certain role that they're expected to be that. And she didn't want to be in that role. She wanted to live her life the way she wanted to, marry who she wanted, actually fall in love. She didn't necessarily want to fight, but she did not want the role that was assigned to her.
Well, wanting to fight was her fighting was in defense of her father.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
But because of the circumstances, she was put in this position where she had to take up a role, pretending to be something she's not, in the process finding who she was and breaking the role assignment that society had assigned to her. It's paving the way for other people to do the same thing. And you didn't get that in animation back then. You got that in a couple of comic books. Actually, got that mostly in comic books. So, but a lot of people didn't read comic books back then. And you got that maybe an occasional television show here and there. But even then, they still had the women in an assigned role. Like, you really didn't have, like, the badass woman who was like the dude running around beating everybody's ass. No, they had a specific assigned role. They could fight, but at the same time, they made sure that they weren't as strong as the men or weren't as high up in society as the men. But in this case, this was completely different. Well,
I mean, technically, she couldn't go toe to toe with her fellow soldiers.
Oh, what? Hold on. We'll get to that. Trust me, we'll get to that.
Well, I'm sorry, yeah, because I'm going from the animated side, and I'm like,
I'm not saying you're wrong, but we'll get to that because that plays a pivotal part towards the end. So we'll get to that, right? So,
and just in case anyone out here cannot see the neon sign, spoiler alert.
So, as soon as I saw her practicing sword fighting, I was like, well, you just tossed that out the window because there's nothing to drive it anymore. Her father's already teaching her. And then you see Mulan, she's running around, still as a kid, chasing chicken, jumping off of buildings, breaking stuff.
Hardcore parkour.
Yeah, doing all that stuff. And there's another talk for about another 6 minutes of talking, which was complete waste. It added nothing. And then her father gets mad. Oh no, before the 6 minutes of talking, she's breaking stuff. And then, wait, wasn't it? Was it the 6 minutes of talking? No, it was after the 6 minutes. There was 6 minutes of talking. That was complete bullcrap, right? Waste of time completely. Mind you, her father was the one who taught her all this stuff. So we cut to some witch in the wood, in the desert, taking over some guy's body. All right.
Censored.
Now, this witch serves absolutely no purpose. The only reason she's there is to have a female on each side. And the witch has the same problem as Mulan. Only difference is the witch was cast as an outcast because she wouldn't fit in the role they wanted, so they exiled her. That's the only difference between her and Mulan. The only reason they made her a witch was to give her something to do, so she wouldn't be another Mulan. That was the only reason why they made her a witch. And,
no double ganger story. Boo.
And on top of that, this is supposed to be realistic, and yet you have a witch doing magic in it.
Well, realistic is very much stretching it, as it's supposed to be.
That's how they want. They wanted it to be a more realistic, serious movie.
Also more tied into the actual myth.
Nope. They said they were looking for they was going for a realistic, live action, serious movie.
Well, I mean, in compared to talking dragons and crickets and what have you, I mean.
I'm sorry, but realistic live action to me is Last Samurai. Dances with Wolves. You tell the story in a way where it's based in reality without magic, and you can have folklore, but you can't have magic and all that stuff. Dragons and cricket was in the movie. They got cricket in the movie. The Lucky Cricket was in the movie. They just made him a character. There's a character in there named Cricket. And he says, my mother named me that because I'm lucky.
I quit.
Well, they had to get the Lucky Cricket in there somewhere. What was the dragon's name?
Mushu.
Let me see. Was Mushu in the movie? Let me go through IMDb. Because he might have been in the movie as a real person, and I just missed it. Nope. Mushu wasn't in there, and thank God he wasn't in there, because don't get me wrong, I love Eddie Murphy, but that dragon was annoying. That dragon was annoying and served absolutely no purpose. I think that dragon made me laugh one time when I was watching that movie, and I was a kid.
You know what? Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow, dishonor on your family. Don't you ever disrespect the powerful, the pleasurable, indestructible Mushu dragon in your life.
Annoying Mushu dragon. He was Jar Jar before there was Jar Jar. He made me laugh one time when I watched the original Mulan movie. One time.
Yeah. But then again, the majority of the time, you have it out for if anyone dares to do the sin of making a sidekick also a comic relief character.
No, because Eddie Murphy was fucking hilarious as Donkey. No, it was just Mushu. The lines they wrote for him weren't funny except for one, and that was when I don't even know how this happened. That was when when the fireworks went off and he pointed to the cricket. That had me dying laughing. Because I'm sitting there thinking, first of all, how the hell did that happen? Second of all, he just instantly pointed to the cricket like he did it. That was funny. But all the other lines is just like so poorly written, so unfunny. It was just like, so I was glad they cut him out. Instead, they gave him a phoenix, gave her a phoenix, which I didn't
Well, that's
mind.
a real twist.
I didn't mind because it wasn't like she was the only one who could see the Phoenix, so it was like her spirit animal.
Yeah.
So that one, I did that was a huge improvement over Mushu. And why the hell did they name him Mushu anyway? Every time I hear Mushu, I think of Mushu chicken. So back to the Wish. The Wish takes over this body in the desert, and then the Huns. I'm sorry, the Rukins.
Oh.
Did I miss something? Is Huns suddenly a non-PC word?
That's news to me if it is.
I don't understand why they changed it from the Huns to the Rukins. I don't even know what a Rukin is. I don't know if they actually existed. I don't know if they made it up.
And I will be an adult, and I'll not say the Street Fighter joke.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't see a reason to change it from the Huns to the Rukins. Does it make it sound any better?
Nope, to get the Street Fighter 5 crowd near.
But I was very confused by that. So there's no longer Huns, they're Rukins. So they attack a village. And here's another problem. Put a fucking timestamp on your goddamn movie. We see Mulan as a child, and then all of a sudden this witch and the Rukins are attacking a village. How am I supposed to know this is later in the future? Or that was in the past and this is in the present? Either way you want to look at it. If you don't put a timestamp on it, you just jump to that.
Because Mulan is Jesus.
I'm like, put a timestamp on your movie. You can say, well, if she's 7, you can say 5 years later or 7 years later. Something. Put something on there to let somebody know that, because I guess they're going on the assumption that everybody who sees this movie already saw the original. But if you were born in 1997, some of those people born in 1997 and later never saw Mulan. They do exist. And they probably saw that poster. It was like, wow, this looks really cool. I'm going to go check it out. So, and then seeing that, they're going to be hella confused. Hella confused. They're thinking it's taking place when she's a kid, and all of a sudden you see her as an adult, and everybody's living happy and moving around. And then they're, oh yeah, these guys attacked. Wait, then you got to figure out, wait, how much time has passed? When did they attack? And it takes you out of the movie. Put a fucking timestamp on your movie. Put a fucking time here. Say present day. Just put present. Just put present. Then someone knows, okay, that took place in the past. We jump into the present. Then when you see Mulan as an adult, you're not confused. Anyway. So we see Mulan as an adult. Of course, oh yeah, then we do the spew with the Emperor. He gets the armies together and blah, blah, blah. Get one man from each family. Same as the old one.
Yay!
So we cut back to Mulan. She's an adult now. And she's going to meet the matchmaker. Yeah, okay, I had to think about it for a minute. Yeah, she's going to meet the matchmaker. I had to think for a minute because I had to remember there was another conversation with her as an adult. Okay, so she goes to meet the matchmaker. And she's getting ready. And they're playing... What were they playing? What was the song in the matchmaker in the original during the matchmaker? What was that song?
That you'll bring honor to us all.
Right. They were playing Bring Honor to Us All. How do you think I felt about that? What do you think my opinion of them playing Honor to Us All while we're watching Mulan get dressed to meet the matchmaker?
Well, that depends on how it's filmed. Is it still
just what do you think my opinion of it was? Just watching it.
Well, I don't know. You have to take in the whole. You gotta take in the whole scene because you already seen if you're coming from the perspective of knowledge of the other movie, how kind of that movie was like a cluster and everyone was getting her ready, and it was literally like the world was moving around her.
They did they did do it like that. They did do it like that.
Now the question is, does it fit with the theme with the themes of the movie? Because that's the other thing. Or is that one of those nostalgia jabs that of course, is going to hit the mark and probably infuriate people.
Well, take a guess. Just take a guess.
It's a nostalgia jab that missed and infuriated you.
You would be incorrect. I actually like this. And it was because of the way they did it.
Oh my God, just like I said, stop leading me with these terrible half-baked questions.
They did it. They did the entire thing that they did in the movie, the original Mulan, but they did it a lot shorter, and it was subtly playing in the background. So you hear it. There was no words. It was just instrumental. And it was subtly playing in the background, so you hear it. And if you saw the original Mulan and remember that, you would recognize, like, oh yeah, and you're looking at it, it's like, it fit very nicely. And I was like, you know what? And it was I'm trying to think of a word because good is not good enough. It was, excellent isn't good enough. Outstanding. It was an outstanding way to put your musical into a non-musical movie. I give them props for that. That's kudos. Because it was really, really well done. I enjoyed that entire scene, and it wasn't really, really long either. It was short. It was short. You got to hear enough of the music to recognize it. It went with the flow. It was nice. It was nice. I liked that one. That part I liked. Because it would have been really stupid if they were sitting there talking about how they wanted to be a live-action serious movie, and they threw musicals in there. But they managed to throw the musicals in there without it being a musical. And that's rarely done, and it was done to perfection. So they get props from me for that. So, of course, she messes up the matchmaker. And this one was better. This was also better than the other one because in this one, her sister's afraid of spiders. So, and did Mulan have a sister in the original? I don't remember.
No.
No, so they gave her a sister. So they both went to the matchmaker.
That's your Mushu.
You know what? That probably was. She probably was the Mushu.
Moving on.
She probably was the Mushu replacement. And you know what? She wasn't annoying either. But she's afraid of spiders. You know, a lot of people are afraid of spiders. So they're at the matchmaker. They're doing the whole tea thing. And the spider gets on the table. Knowing her sister's afraid of spiders, Mulan takes the teacup, puts it on top of the spider. Of course, the matchmaker gets upset. It's like, that goes in the middle of the table, blah, blah, blah. She moves it. Spider jumps on the lady's face and causes a big mess. And then, dishonor to you, da-da-da-da-da. You know, dishonor to your family. You know, the same thing as the original. Now, here's where it got stupid. I was okay with that until her father starts yelling at her about not being what they considered a proper woman at that time. You were the jackass who taught her all this stuff. And you knew this would be a problem. So why did you bother teaching it to her? And then all of a sudden, you want to get mad at her because she brought dishonor to the family. What? That is as bad. I haven't been so infuriated by a mixed message since Superman, Man of Steel. When the father kept telling him, don't show your powers. What was supposed to do? Let them die? I don't know, maybe. And then later on, you were sent here for a reason. You got, which one you want? Pick a moral, you asshole. Pick a fucking moral and stick to it. Stop trying to give mixed messages to your character, to the other character, and to the goddamn audience. Pick a fucking moral.
Or if you're trying to show that the world is gray, you actually need to play on it without fortifying either side.
Yes, you can have that. Yes, you're right. You can show that the world's gray and have a conversation explaining the world being gray without saying the world's being gray. But don't sit there and say, you should do this, and then later on, no, you should do that. The fuck?
Yeah. Or, or be taught a certain way, and then under a certain circumstance, like almost like Anakin, like if Anakin actually had to murder Dooku to protect someone.
Yeah.
That's like is taught as a Jedi, really subdue the enemy. You're not really out to destroy, you're there to protect. But if in the protection of people, you need to destroy this relentless foe, then, it becomes kind of grayish. But it's due to the situation that, the negative action is positive. Like something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense that way. Not do this.
Well,
No.
well,
Do this.
mm-hmm.
No.
Yep.
Do this. Pick.
Mm-hmm. One must always balance on the right foot, unless one is balancing on the left foot. Why are you balancing on your left foot? Because you said balance on the left. I said one must always balance on the right foot, but you said let's balance on the left foot. Exactly.
Like, it makes no sense. So, of course, the next day, the army comes in, because it takes them a while to get to each village. So, it makes sense.
Hey.
And they said, the same thing. Need a male from each family, blah, blah, blah. He has no male, so he goes. And then they leave. And then he ends up stealing his armor and riding off while they're sleeping. This is a serious problem right here. And this is why it didn't work. This woman looks nothing like a man. In the anime, they drew her a certain way that you can make her either gender. This, in the live action movie, they picked this woman who is beautiful, but when she's supposed to be dressed like a man, she still looks like a beautiful woman.
Maybe she's a beautiful man.
I have not seen a miscast for a character's physical appearance since Chloe Dejanette played Carrie. Because Chloe Dejanette is too hot to be Carrie. Nobody's gonna pick on Chloe Grace Gannett. What the hell is her name? Chloe. What is her name? Chloe.
You're asking the wrong one,
Grace Jeanette. I think that's it. I know she has a 3-name thing. No one's gonna pick on her because she's too fucking hot. I don't care. I said that in the Carrie review. She could be covered in shit, and someone's gonna hit that because she's just a hot chick covered in shit.
We're going back. We're going to take it back and show her age and talk about she's all that. You can't take a hot chick, put her hair up, put her in glasses and overalls with paint on them, and be like, she's an ugly nerd.
Yes.
No, she's not.
Yes. And I'm just like, I'm sure this woman's a fabulous actor. I can't say her name because it's Yifei. That's her first name, Lou. So I can't pronounce her name. She's a great actress. She was amazing in the role. I believed her as the character. But she looked nothing like a man. Nothing like a man. She could have been bald and she would still look like a woman. That she has those type of facial features. So I was like, that was a miscast right there. Which brings us to when they get to the army and make a man out of you. Now, where they had to do the training. But I'm not going to ask you the question again. I like this because I'm not sure. I couldn't really tell if the music was the same music. It might have been. I couldn't tell. What I liked about it was a lot longer than the original one. And that's important for training montages. Like, I love training montages. I love training montages. But the thing is, the problem with training montages is because they're cut together with the music and it goes by so fast, it seems like everything happens really quickly.
It depends. Once again, it all depends on how they play with it. Because if you can show subtle things like changes in appearance, i.e., hair length growth, changing of the seasons, stuff like that, you can actually still montage it and still give the effect of the length of time passing by. It's just that most people are lazy and they want specific action shots. And if they're all artsied up, they want specific action shots to whatever song is the montage song. But yeah, those can be done right. Even
with the even if they do show the passing of time in the montage, don't step on my computer. Other way. Okay, go by. Go. Dog. I'm about to step on my computer and mess up my stuff. Even if they do show the passing of time, it still feels like it went by too fast. Like instead of like feeling like it was 3 months, it feels like it was a week. So that's why I like when they training.
No.
That's
Once
why,
again,
that's
if you show the changing of the seasons, most people know that
there's no.
the seasons come in quarters. So if they show like from snow to spring, you know you train for months automatically, even if it's like a 5-second flash. It's understood.
It's understood, but the feeling. I'm talking about the feeling.
Oh, well, I can't.
Feel
well,
like
I can't.
time has
Well,
passed.
I can't talk. I can't talk against your feelings. So
yeah, you don't
continue.
feel like time has passed. Like you know, time has passed, but it doesn't feel like time has passed. It feels like this was like within a couple of hours, which is why with Rocky I actually liked. They did 2 training montages back to back, so it felt like a lot of time went by because he did the first one with one set of music, and then Adrian came. And then they did the second one. So it felt like he was there for like half a year. Whereas most montages, they just do the one, and you know they're training for like months. But it feels like the feeling you get from it is like this was really fast. This happened really quickly. He got strong super fast. And that's not what they're going for, but that's how it feels because of the way your mind interprets what you're seeing. If you're seeing something go by fast, it feels fast. As opposed to if you see something go by slow, it feels slow. You get what I'm saying?
Well, right now, I believe you're doing a little bit of analysis that's not either of our pay grades. But I get what you're hinting at.
Yeah, so I actually like this. This was a really long montage. A lot of stuff happened during the training montage. There was cuts in between, and in fact, it was more of a training segment than a montage. Because even though they had the music at certain points, there were certain points where they were training, they didn't have the music. So it felt like they had to be there for almost a year, which is how wars work. You know.
And I was ready to say, along with other effects, the same way you were saying, like, you know, even if, you know, you use elements to show the passage of time that, you know, a character instantly powered up, that also goes into the montage. If you show them, like, failing, or say if someone was lifting weights and they just have, like, the weights on the end of the bar, and then by the time they end, they have like 5 weights on each end, but you can see them gradually putting on another one, like still over time. It's like there's a lot of elements that you can play with that to help it along. But not to mention I think what sounds like they did a great deal of cinematic trickery by having the montage go longer than the song.
Oh yeah, this movie was like almost 2.5 hours.
Hush.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, oh yeah, this movie was almost 2.5 hours.
But that's what gave you the feeling, because everyone knows, you know, a montage is up there, and it's kind of stops when the music stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like hearing the hum of a microwave. And when the music stops, that's the bing at the end. It's done. But for the fact that the montage would continue after the music cues end, that's what gives you a further further feeling of how long this is.
Well,
not to mention you said it's actually long for a montage scene anyway.
Just to be clear,
so,
I didn't mean like. Just to be clear, I meant it like the Rocky thing. Like they would have the montage, they would stop, then they have another montage, they would stop, then they have another training montage. I meant it like that, not like, you know, they were still actually doing a montage and there's no music afterwards. Just to be clear, what I was saying.
Then good, be clear.
yeah, no, they would do a montage and then it would stop and something would happen and then do more training and then something would happen and then it'd be more training and then something would happen. That's what I meant by the music stops and the montage kept going.
No, well, clip show. So it's not
Yeah.
actually a true. It's not actually a true montage, as it's kind of clip showy.
Still a montage because it wasn't like each training session they were doing different things, you know. Not different
Same
things from
thing.
the other
Same.
thing, like there was different things being done during that montage.
Yeah. So what?
It was just you got a break in it was just you got a break in between the montage.
Nah, man. Listen.
A couple of breaks actually.
We gonna sit down and act. If you're gonna sit here and act like you didn't see Dragon Ball Z and know a training montage is two characters throwing punches back and forth, and you think they just threw punches back and forth for months on end and got stronger, like come on. You know what a workout is. You know what training is. A boxer doesn't just sit there and throw punches.
Yeah,
Rocky
but
taught us
see,
that.
that's the thing. You're used to that stuff. The general audience isn't. So they're not gonna. They don't have the state of mind to sit there and say, "Okay, this actually takes place longer than they're actually showing." To them, what happened? That's just that fast.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is like for general consumption, and general
so
consumption don't
what?
have the same mindset as us.
Listen, I'm by no means a Rhodes Scholar. I consider myself really quite average to to maybe below to average, depending how lazy I'm feeling mentally that day. There's a whole mental skill set I can't do, i.e., remember actors. I'm not good with phone numbers. Not awesome with dates. I can understand certain visual concepts, but
You actually understand a lot more than you
I,
think about visual concepts.
but I digress. Continue.
No, you giving yourself too much credit on the visual concept, and you actually understand a lot more than you think you do. Because you've seen it for so long and used to certain things. You can tell when something's like, what? Most people can't. This is why Transformers is so popular. The Michael Bay movies, I mean, not real Transformers.
I don't know. Yeah, it puzzles me why they're so popular.
Because the general public don't have the same mindset we have because they haven't been exposed to the same type of
Yeah,
visual views that we have.
yeah.
So we can sit
Just
there and say, that doesn't seem right. How the hell but they'll just go with it because
yep.
they don't know any better.
Because explosions.
Exactly. But back to Mulan. So, yeah, the army finally gets called off. Oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention this. The guy her romance interest isn't the captain of the guard anymore. That's somebody else. He's just another soldier.
Ooh.
Yeah, they switched that out.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is fine.
well,
It doesn't really matter.
remember, we legally turned that to rape now.
That's true. That is
You
true.
you cannot enter romantic coupling with your subordinates.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yep, change that.
Yeah, that got changed. But that was fine.
But yep, okay. So montage, and she's falling for another soldier.
So yeah, they go through the same thing. They get called to go to some area with I'm just calling it the Huns because I'm tired of trying to remember the fucking Wookins. The fucking Huns are at. And
I love the fact you forgot it until you cursed the name.
I have to look at the paper because it's a stupid name. But anyway, they go where the Huns is at, and they have the big fight. And while they're having the big fight, so they go where the Huns at. They have the big fight. The leader of the Huns, he leaves. So Mulan chases after him with a bunch of guys. All except two of those guys get killed, and those two guys run away. So it's just Mulan chasing them down. And then she ends up fighting the witch, because of course she has to fight the witch. And they go through the whole, you're just like me, and you're an outcast, they won't accept you, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Then she loses to the witch, and then discovers she has to be herself, yada, yada, yada. But I did like the fact that they did play during that part, and she got back on a horse, and she was riding back to save the people. They played same way they did it with Honor to Us All. They played what's the name of that song? I'm hearing a melody in my head.
Then sing it.
You want me to sing? I know it's
No.
cocktail hour, but it's not karaoke hour.
Then that means you. Then that
Who is
means you're
that
not imbibing
girl I
enough.
see staring straight back at me? What was that song?
Okay,
What was that one? What was the
come
name of
on.
that one?
It's in the title's in the next line. Reflection, man.
Oh, it was Reflection. That was the name of it. I used to skip past that song really. Like, walk out the room to go get something when that song came on my soundtrack. So I really didn't pay attention to it. That wasn't my favorite song. Be a Man was my favorite song.
Yeah, I'll admit that was mine.
So yeah, they played that very low.
Although that was the flagship song.
Yeah, so they played that very low while she was going
Mm-hmm.
back to save them, and it was cool. It looked cool. The visual was cool. Hearing it in the background, it gave me chills from nostalgia. I was like, all right, I like that. I like that. She didn't use the fireworks this time to cause the avalanche. Instead, she went over there. She took some helmets, put them up there, and then started shooting at the Huns. They turned around and said, "Hey, enemies over there!" and shot a cannonball, which caused the avalanche.
Okay. Which still pitted her in a good spot
Yeah,
where she
I didn't
used
mind that.
intelligence over brute strength.
Right, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I prefer the fireworks, but I didn't mind that it was the Huns knocking it, that way. It was fine. No qualms there. I just like
Yep.
the
So
other way better.
so Ryu and Ken threw Hadoukens and made the avalanche on themselves.
Pretty much. Oh no, he wasn't
Okay.
there. His subordinate. So I guess Guile threw a sonic boom, and yeah, the avalanche came flying down.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you thought you was gonna say Ryu, Ken, and I was really gonna be able to hold the Street Fighter joke.
So yeah, they find out she's a man because she decided to tell the truth. Which
because she had to fight against the witch. The witch said they'll never accept her,
yeah,
so the witch is bad. So therefore, I'll prove her wrong, even though she's not here to see this.
and she does the honorable thing. You can kill me if you want, but I'm a woman and da da da. And they were like, well, you know what? You're expelled from the army. Get out of here. We see you again, you'll be executed. So she leaves, and then she finds out. I think she talked to the witch a second time. She did. She talked to the witch a second time and found out that the main leader of the Huns went to the emperor while the rest of his men were over there. So she goes back to the army and she tells them that he's over there, yada yada yada. At first they're like, oh, why should I believe her? But then all her friends are like, she saved our lives. I believe her. I believe her too.
Yep.
I believe her.
Yep. Movie beats.
So he's like, all right, you know what? Lead us over to the capital. And here is where I really want to throw up my paper. I want to throw my paper in the trash right now. But I still have a couple of notes. And the reason why is because I saw this coming when they did it. They tricked the emperor from leaving the capital. The witch turns into some guy. I think it was his second in command or whatever, his advisor. She transforms into his advisor and says, oh yeah, the leader of the Huns is over there. He challenges you to a one-on-one duel. So the emperor goes over there. And as soon as I saw that, I said, they're going to fuck up the ending to this movie. The minute he said, I will meet him on the battle, I will meet him over there, accept his challenge, I said, they're going to fuck up this movie. They're going to fuck up the ending so fucking hard that cum is going to come out of someone's nose.
Ew.
So the emperor leaves, and of course it's a trap.
Well, yeah.
Mulan and her people get there, they have to find the emperor. Suddenly, the witch sees that they accepted Mulan, decided to switch sides, and tells her where the emperor is. So she goes out to find the emperor.
Oh, you're making me so happy to see this thing.
I know. Yeah, so, of course the witch turns, she goes from heel, she does the heel turn to babyface, and gets killed saving Mulan because the Hun tries to shoot her as she's coming. She goes, she saves the emperor. How did she do it? She didn't use fireworks.
She used animality.
She didn't use fireworks. I think they were hanging on something, and she cut the rope, and he died. He falls, but he's still alive. He's still alive. And I think he tried
Paralyzed
to
from the waist down, but still a badass.
There was so much going on with this ending. It was it's hard to remember because there was so many things. She lost her father's sword that fell and got burned. She managed to get his sword. Yeah, she managed to get his sword. They was on this log hanging by a rope. She cuts the rope. He falls down. I think he tried to shoot an arrow laying on the ground. I think. At the Emperor. Yes, he did. He tried to shoot an arrow. First of all, you can't shoot an arrow laying on the ground because you can't pull backwards. But anyway, shoots an arrow laying on the ground. The Emperor caught it, and I think he threw it in the air, and Mulan kicked it down into the guy's chest.
What?
Yeah.
Super combination finish.
And they did this thing. They did this thing earlier when they were shooting at the Huns, and the leader, the boss leader, catches it. So he goes to catch it, but he misses, and he dies. And I said, okay, they have a chance here. But you know what happens? There's no fucking bow. They took the fucking bow out of the fucking movie. And I was completely done with the movie at that point. Because that was the most important. Soon as they moved it from the capital to this random location, I knew they were going to fuck it up. Because that was the pivoting point of the movie. Because not only did the fucking emperor bow to her, the entire city bowed to her because they saw that she saved the entire kingdom. That was a major moment in the movie. And they took it out. And I was completely done with the movie at that point.
Yep. So all the melody sound bites in the background couldn't save that, huh?
No, they literally took it out. And I was just like, you just ruined this entire movie from what it used to be. This was a movie that was not only amazing, but ahead of its time and groundbreaking for animation. And you just threw that all in the garbage. So you can have your little fight on moving wood and hanging ropes and dumb shit. And this is like...
dumbed down to an action flick.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the movie itself isn't bad. It's just okay. And that's the problem. You have a great movie with two great morals. Be yourself, and you don't have to accept the roles society gives you. To an okay movie with one okay moral of be yourself. It'll work out, maybe.
And learn how to kick arrows.
So that was a live action Mulan. Would I recommend it? No. Was it bad? No. It was just okay. If this movie had came out before the animation, it'd be a different story. It'd probably be really, really good. But because the animation came out first, was much better done, had better morals, didn't have a better sidekick, but actually a little bit more believable to just an okay movie that has one simple moral and didn't even deliver what you said you wanted to do, which was make it a realistic live action movie. A realistic, serious live action movie. So, it's just okay. I wouldn't even recommend it for kids, though. I would just just if you want your kids to watch one of these, pick the animated one. Just pick the animated one. It's way better.
Well, that's usually the answer for most of these things. Hate to tell you. I've seen most of them. I think I stopped at The Lion King. I think the big mistake is just the marketability. They're consulting the bean counters on this. If you were going to do remakes, don't take your library of timeless classics, because that's why you make a timeless classic. It's in the title. It's timeless. It need no remake.
I know. There's a reason why they're doing it. It kind of makes sense, but I'm actually going to do a regular review on that. We'll go through all that. But it kind of makes sense why they're doing it.
Yeah, money.
No, it's not just money. It's more to that. It's more to it than that. I'll go through that on a regular review. All right, let's move along. What's the next subject I was going to talk about? Oh, The Boys. Yes, The Boys. Have you watched that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, you don't have Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, right? Right. Yeah, The Boys. Well, season 2 started this year, and I was kind of not feeling it in the beginning because season one was amazing. And I'm sorry if anyone hasn't seen it. Well, then you need to get from under a rock and get your ass on The Boys at this point in time because you're way behind. It started at first of all, the very beginning. This guy is sitting there talking to his girlfriend, and she gets run through by their version of the Flash. And I mean run through. Like he's going like 500 miles an hour, just run straight through her. So she's dead. He's stopped, covered in blood, and says, I'm sorry, I can't stop, and leaves. And you're like, what the fuck? Then you see him on the news, and he's like, oh yeah, she was standing in the middle of the street, but she was standing literally right off the edge of the curb. So then you're like, what the fuck? Then you find out that superheroes in this world is run by a corporation. They're all fucking well, not all of them. 90% of them are fucking assholes and douchebags. You're like, what the fuck is going on in this world? Then some guy shows up, and he's like, yeah, I know what really happened to your girlfriend. We want to find out the truth. Da 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 da. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy? What the fuck is that whole season was full of mystery. And then when this season started, there was no mystery because at the end of the last season, they got their ass kicked. So they're moping around with their tail between their legs. So I wasn't feeling it at first. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who wasn't feeling it at first. But if you kind of dropped off after the 3rd episode, I would suggest picking it back up. Because that mystery element is back. And it's back in a major way. And this is so good. So good. It's back to what it was in the first season. That's all I'm going to say about it. Because I don't want to ruin it for people. Like, first season, that's your fault. Second season, I'll leave it alone. But it gets better. You just have to get past the 3rd episode. And then it gets back on track to the way it used to be. You get your mysteries. You get the answer to that mystery. But there's another mystery that they gotta figure out. And it just goes on.
And it wouldn't have got away with if it was for you kids and your dog.
So they keep leaving you with questions. So you want to watch the next episode to get the answer to, but they make sure to leave you with another question. So it's really, it's one of the best shows they have out right now. Unfortunately, it's only on Amazon Prime. But it's one of those shows that has to be on Amazon Prime. It really does. But it's really good. This season it's really impressing me now. You got to figure out a way to find it, whether it be buy a DVD or something, because it's worth the watch. It's worth the watch.
Nah, noted.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I'm not saying you get Amazon Prime, but if you can pick up a DVD, bootleg somewhere, find it online somewhere being shown.
Yeah, we get it. Next order of business. Fanboying out.
It's really that good. You'll watch. If you watch it, you'll see. You'll see why it's really that good. It's not your average superhero show. It's completely different, which makes it. This is why it makes it so good. Fucking the Superman of the goddamn show is the biggest fucking dickhead you'd ever meet in your life. Because he's Superman, so he can do that.
Yep.
Who's gonna stop him?
Batman.
Really
you did it to yourself.
It'd be funny if they did come up with a Batman type character to stop him.
Except they have to reverse him and make him nice, so it's weird. But,
all right, let's see what's in the news today. Well, not today, but let's see what interesting stuff we have in the news.
What's in the news? The date.
Oh, let's start with this. I don't know if you heard about this, but New York steam filter union head busted in bribery scheme by feds. Apparently, along with 10 other members, the New York Tri-State Trade Council President James, I can't pronounce this name, Chadhill, ran a bribery scheme starting in October 2018 with 10 other members of the local 638 union to earn over $100,000. Much of it through cash payment, according to the indictment by the Manhattan Federal Court. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, times is hard.
That was from 2018.
Yeah,
Oh
your
man.
bribery scam is kind of garbage if you're only getting $50K a year, and then you got to break that up in about what? It's one man and 10 other people, so you got to break that in 11 ways. So yeah, you're getting slightly less than 5K a year off this bribery scheme. Doesn't seem worth the risk, depending on your stature of employment.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, you're right. Each one is 5K a year. I mean, I'm like, yeah, that's extra. That's extra money. But was that worth it?
Yep. It's hey, didn't I mention earlier one of the subjects we'll be covering today is math. Look at me go.
Child Hill's group of crooked current and former union members committed the ultimate act of betrayal by urging employees not to hire union laborers in exchange for bribes, according to the indictment.
Oh,
He
wow.
was caught on a wiretap screwing over his members.
That's next level bad.
19, telling everyone to go fuck themselves because if you become union, you have 12 fucking guys on your back. Wow. According to the prosecutors.
But hey, what kind of time is he getting? Because guess what?
I'm trying to go down and see if they put that up here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to read this whole article.
Because if he doesn't do much time, I know GameStop, Walmart, a couple of places they'll pick him up.
The 11 men face charges of racketeering conspiracy and honest service fraud conspiracy, which can carry a sentence up to 20 years in prison. If anybody wants to read more about this article, you can find it in the Daily News.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I just saw something else that caught my eye, which I don't know why this is. I don't understand why this is news, but I'm going to read it anyway because it just caught my attention. You'll see why. You'll hear why if it pops up. You'll hear why I don't consider it. In the meantime, while that's loading up, Jimmy Carter turned 96 today. Either today or yesterday, one of the two. He is now the oldest living former president at 96 years old. Congratulations, Jimmy Carter. Hope you have a few more years left in you.
Nah, as long as you ain't watching where politics is going these days, that might put you in the ground.
Well, he's doing well. He's happy.
That's what's up.
He's nice and healthy at 96 years old. So congratulations, Mr. Carter.
Found in a strip club.
All right, here we go. This is the one that caught my attention. New York City cops capture a rogue possum perched on top of Manhattan building. I don't understand why that's new.
That's quite literally the cat in the tree story making the news.
Exactly. I see a possum every week. Why is that new?
I've seen skunks on my way to work.
I had a possum come running up to me last week when I'm outside smoking a cigarette. I'm like, hey, go the other way. He looked at me and he went the other way. Like, I don't know why this is news, but it just happened to catch my attention simply because it should not be news. Apparently, the cops were patrolling on West 56th Street building near 9th Avenue at 11:50 a.m. on Wednesday when a resident told them about a possum perched near the concrete ledge on the first floor. Yeah, you could have just left him alone. He would have went around his business. You could have fed him, and he would have went about his business afterwards.
Take it anymore.
I doubt that possum was just sitting there forever. He just went outside, happened to see him taking a rest. Probably taking a nap, because then they're nocturnal. He was probably tired. But I'm just I don't understand why that's news.
Yeah.
Everybody in New York sees possums. And if you don't see possums, then that means you don't go out. Because they're everywhere.
You shouldn't.
What else we got? Supergirl. This will be the final season of CW Supergirl, returning in 2001, apparently. They didn't give any specifics on why this will be the last season, but I have the feeling it's to replace it with Superman and Lois, which will be premiering next year as well. So, if you're a Supergirl fan, get ready to say goodbye. But it lasted 6 seasons, so that's not bad.
In other familiar news.
So they also mentioned what's the name is going to be leaving too, Supernatural.
After a 15-season run.
Yeah, that's going to be leaving soon.
And I say
his will be The Flash. Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, who will be recast. I don't know why. What's her name left? But she just decided to leave. I can't think of a name right now, but the one who was playing Batwoman. But she's going to be leaving, and they're going. I don't know how they're going to do it, but there's going to be a new Batwoman. And like I said, Lois and Superman and Lois will be premiering next year too. So yeah, I'm thinking Supergirl's leaving to replace that. They also still having Stargirl. I don't know if Stargirl's coming back. I mean, I did pretty well.
It sounds like a mystery.
I would read the rest of this, but we're running low on time. So if anybody wants to know more about which shows are coming on the CW and which shows are coming from DC Network to the CW, you can Google Supergirl's final season, and it should pop up at The Hollywood Reporter. You can look it up on the Hollywood Reporter. Moving right along, Shia LaBeouf charged with battery and petty theft stemming from allegations in June. According to the Fox News, Shia LaBeouf was in court on one count of petty theft and battery for an alleged incident that occurred in July of this year.
Let's see what happens when you don't stay inside during coronavirus.
Exactly. Apparently, the Honey Boy screenwriter was accused of willfully and unlawfully using force and violence against a man. Why does it say it occurs in July, but it was against a man on June 12th? Did he wait to press charges? Because if somebody whips my ass, I'm pressing charges right away. I'm not waiting until July 12th. I'm not waiting until July.
I had to wait for the courts to open. I don't know. Continue.
The complaint further accuses the actor of stealing a hat believed to be cue to do something funky. Believed to not exceed a $950 value from the same man. So apparently, he beat this man. He beat this man and stole his hat, a $950 hat. Why? I don't know.
I quit.
Booth has been scheduled for an arraignment hearing on November 19th, according to documents. Representative Booth did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment. I wouldn't require him to that either. What the fuck? It's kind of embarrassing to sit there and say, yeah, I beat this man up for a $900 hat when you're a goddamn multi-millionaire.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck? And they go on about his past stuff. That's all they say about that incident. They're just going about his past stuff. Well, I got good news for the people in Knoxville. That tiger sighting might have been, most likely, mistaken identity. Did you hear about this?
I'm not even going to go into this, but
okay.
Please continue.
Let me tell you the story. So apparently, police were getting a report that there was a fucking tiger running around in Knoxville, right?
Yep.
So this was more than one. It was more than one report, right? So they start sending people out where people say they saw this fucking tiger. So this sheriff goes down there. He goes down to, where did he go? I think he went near, oh shit, what was it? It was one of the rivers.
Carry on. A river. Continue.
I know it's in here. I forgot. I can't find it, but he goes to one of the rivers, right? And sure enough, he sees the fucking tiger. And he calls it in, and it runs off somewhere. So they call this animal sanctuary, and they're like, so they report, they're like, yeah, look, be on the lookout, this tiger. And there's this animal sanctuary around there. They're like, it's not our tiger, but, if you find it, we'll take it in. So it's not this. So they call the zoo. And they're like, no, we got all our tigers. So no one knows where this fucking tiger came from.
That bitch, Carol Baskin.
So, according to Wildlife, according to the spokesperson for the Tennessee Wildlife Resort Agency, the tiger was most likely a mistaken identity since there have been no more cases of its sighting. They think it might have been a bobcat. So, listen, I don't know about this. Stripes. I don't know about this. Personally, I think somebody had a tiger. They fell asleep. That shit got out. They woke up. and they were scared to report it because it's fucking illegal to own a tiger unless you're like registered as a zoo of some sort, whether it's private zoo.
No, technically you can, in accordance to Epic How to, but the steps needed to own a tiger, it's only legal in certain states, and you need a myriad of expensive things.
Yeah,
but anyway, it's illegal.
No, you have to register it as a zoo. It could be a private zoo, but it has to be registered as a zoo. You have to have a certain amount of land, and you have to go under the register. You don't have to have people come to your zoo, but you have to have a plethora of animals, and it has to be registered as a zoo. Because I had a friend in California. She didn't have people come to her place to see the animals, but she used those in her performances, educational performances. But she said, she has to register it as a zoo. That's the only way you can have. And you have to have more than one exotic animal. I think somebody had this one tiger, fell asleep, he got out, didn't want to report it because it's illegal. And then when he heard on the news about the sightings, he went to one of those sightings and picked that bitch up and took it home. But the people in Knoxville can rest safely knowing that there is no tiger running around anymore around Knoxville Wild. So apparently there's been no sightings. I was expecting someone to find like a fucking dead deer or some shit because it was just looking for its next meal.
For real. I'm like, there have been no sightings because the tiger is laying low.
First heard about this story, I thought the tiger pulled a Siegfried on his owner and then took off. But now I think the dude fell asleep and left the gate open. The tiger said, "Oh shit, I'm going for a walk."
The tiger left for a pack of cigarettes and never came back.
And he was like, "Oh shit, I can't report this. I'll get arrested." And then went to all the reported sightings until he found them. It was like, "Come on, Jimmy, let's go home." Tony, that was in there. I was trying to think of Tony the Tiger. You know, I was going to do a joke and say it was some guy running around a tiger suit throwing cornflakes on people's lawns.
There's a tiger. Take pictures. They're great.
I like going through the news. I just wish someone else would go through the news, not me. I want to be the one surprised by the news, not surprising other people. I want to be the one who's like, what the fuck, when I hear there's a tiger running around fucking Knoxville.
Or when the union takes a bribe
to not
get their own union members hired.
That shit is fucking crazy. Like, damn.
And that's a weak ass bribe.
For real. That's 10 people. Oh wait, that's not even 5,000 a person.
Because it's 11.
It was him and 10 other people.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Holy shit.
It's 50K spread 11 ways. I'm like, that is so marginal.
Yeah, that wasn't even worth it. But that was not worth 20 years.
Nope.
Like, if you're gonna do some shit like that, be fucking Walter White. Make it worth your jail time.
If your name ain't Hoffa, you better move it.
That's fucking insane. But that's it for today's show. Anything you need to plug before we're out of here?
Nope. We'll discuss more variants of topics, but till next time, everybody, just remember that it's all in your head.
All right, everyone. For those of you in the tri-state area, once again, the Queens County Farm is open up until November 1st. Located at 7350 Little Neck Parkway, Floral Park, New York. Aha, I was on point this time. You'll probably find me there on Saturdays and Sundays unless I have something important to do, like go to the dentist, which I need to do soon. As I said before, we have the corn maze, the midnight maze, the pumpkin patch, the cider is there you can buy, and my good friend Ruben at the East Coast Tacos, whose truck will be sitting there, and he makes one hell of a taco. Just tell him Ty sent you, and he'll hook you up. You can watch my show on YouTube, where I review relatively old movies. I have some live streams on there where I play video games. I also review video games, not just play them live, and TV shows, books, whatever I just feel like doing at the time. I think that's about it for the plugs. Which is funny since this is going to be on the YouTube channel, so people on the YouTube channel is probably already going to be watching this. All right, say goodnight, Jay.
Good night, Jay.
Ah, you got it this time. That old Sunny in the Chair joke. Good night, everybody. See y'all later.